game 5 years ago. 5 years ago, the changes of the NBA happens so often. It's gonna be crazy to think about what's gonna happen in the next 5 years. So I think this is, I don't know if it's gonna go east and west. It's just a list of young players who are probable to make an all-star team 5 years from now. So it can be players, super young who you don't even know of, like a rookie or someone who's just playing really well right now. It could be, a guy who's still an all-star now, just continuing on to their legacy, or even a player who's in college right now who could make an all-star team. Who knows? But I'm also going to be spatting out some other names as well. So let's get started here. The first player they actually name off is Bam, Big Bam Adebayo from the Miami Heat. In the year 2026, he will be 28 years old. This year, he's averaging 19 points per game, 9.5 rebounds, and 5 assists. Pretty good numbers now. 5 years from now, he will be 28. That's entering his prime. I think prime is a good 27, 28 to 30, 31. Obviously, if you're a great player, you can play to, prime time till you're 32, 33. And then if you're really good, LeBron, Chris Paul type guys, you can play till 35, 36, 37, yada, yada, yada. But Bam Adebayo, that's a very, very, very good one to pick off from now. Bam arguably could have been an all-star this year. It definitely would have taken a lot of convincing, but the defensive capability of Bam mixed in with how versatile he is as a sort of 6'9" big man, but he can still defend well against bigger guys is so awesome. He's like, I don't want to say the perfect center for the new era of NBA basketball, because I still like having a big body available on a team, but he is a player I think any team in the entire NBA would love to have. So I think that's a good first name to put out there. Let's see. Of course, 5 years from now, there's going to be a player who is only 31 years old, but a two-time MVP already. And that is Giannis Antetokounmpo. In this current year, he's averaging 29 points per game, 11.7 rebounds, and 5.9 assists. Age 31, 5 years from now, which is so insane. He's barely entering his prime. He will still be in his prime, I think, by that time period. Man, that's terrifying. Giannis is just such a young animal already. He can just get better and better. He's already adding a more consistent three-point shot. He's becoming a better, facilitator, ball handler, which is really nice to see. He just needs to add a little bit more of like that basketball IQ, that sort of like, I don't know, slowing the game down, letting things come easier. If you watch players like obviously LeBron, Chris Paul, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, like those guys can control the game of basketball. And I don't think Giannis has that yet. He just is dominant at what he does. When he does get that sort of, basketball knowledge and IQ and playing more games, playing more, hopefully, NBA Finals, a tough playoff series, he will start to develop that. So, man, 5 years from now, Giannis, I think, is still going to be in contention for the best player in the NBA. I think he is in contention already this year, so I think he will be continuing that throughout the rest of his career, probably. We talked about him a lot being, a player that could potentially be, the next one up, from, Jordan, Kobe, LeBron's, Kevin Durant's of today's era, Steph Curry's, and now you have a Giannis kid who potentially has that next great NBA player who can be, top 10, top 15, top 20 all time. So you gotta stop racking up them playoff wins and stuff like that, but I think he'll get there. So we have Giannis, we have Bam. Wow, this one's kind of interesting. We have a finally West Coast guy. And in 2026, he will be only 27 years old. It's Deandre Ayton. That's interesting. Deandre Ayton this year is averaging 14.5 points per game, 11 rebounds, and 1 block. If you guys don't know, I say this all the time in my videos. If you guys don't know, which I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are just people who just flow back into my videos all the time, which, welcome back. I am a Arizona Wildcats fan, so I did watch a lot lot of Deandre Ayton play when he was in college because that's when they were good. Now they suck, but anyways, I really like his potential. Phoenix is doing a good job at getting him up to the sort of area of being a good big man. I think this year, obviously adding Chris Paul, I think hopefully that will help accelerate that potential, and hopefully he'll meet it. And I think in 5 years, could he be an all-star in the West? Oh man, I don't know. I think yes, because obviously the NBA is now made up of front court players and backcourt players. It's not like, oh yeah, they have a center, power forwards, and then guards. It's just front court and backcourt. So this really just depends on how the NBA is in 5 years, which could be completely different. But I think he has a good chance, and I really like that pick actually, because he'll be 27, just entering his prime. He'll probably be on a really good team, obviously, because Phoenix now is doing really good. Obviously, Chris Paul's probably not going to be there all that long, and I'm sure his imprint is going to be left on the Phoenix Suns even after he's gone. And obviously with the ascension of Devin Booker and Ayton and hopefully some other pieces they get, that team will continue to be good, and he would also just help lead that team to that. So Deandre Ayton, I think it's a good pick. That's a risky pick. I don't know if I would have said it, but I like it. Let's see. Another player. Oh, this one's kind of obvious. This player would only be 24 years old in 5 years. Can you guess? He is already a young phenom in the NBA. Yes, you're right. It's LaMelo Ball from the Charlotte Hornets. In his rookie year, he's already averaging 16 points per game, 6 assists, and 6 rebounds. 24 years of age in 5 years. That's super crazy, man. I think the only thing that's really stopping this from happening is the success of the Charlotte Hornets in the next 5 years. And I actually like what they're doing right now with LaMelo, Miles Bridges. Keeping Terry Rozier, I guess, is a good thing. I would like them to get more of like a shooter than Terry Rozier to play alongside of LaMelo. Let LaMelo have the ball in his hand a little bit more. But I think it's fine for right now. And then obviously getting a big man. I hear them in trade talks all the time with getting Mo Bamba or hopefully another draft pick to draft a center this year would be great. So as long as they get that done, that team will be pretty good in 5 years. So I think that will be able to happen. But then also you need LaMelo to play good, and already in his rookie year he's already a really good player and he's super popular. So I don't see how this wouldn't happen. So I really like this pick. Okay, so at age 29, 5 years from now, we would see Devin Booker in an NBA All-Star game again. Well, I guess not again, because this year it's being replaced by Mike Conley, which I didn't even know Devin Booker got hurt. I didn't see it at all on Twitter or anything like that. I just remember seeing on TV that Mike Conley was announced to be an All-Star. I was like, what the heck? It just happened. And apparently Devin Booker got hurt, which I didn't know about. So Devin Booker this year's averaging 25 points per game, 4 assists on 50% shooting. My God, what a guy. It's super crazy to think even 5 years from now, Devin Booker won't even be fully through his prime, which I feel like Devin Booker has been in the league for like 7 years already. Like, I feel like he's been in the league for so long. But he's still super young, still learning, and he's learning from one of the best players of this generation in Chris Paul. So that's one way to do it. So, man, I think that's I don't even need to talk. I'm gonna get my phone back out, because that's no reason to discuss. Devin Booker will be an All-Star during that time period. He should be an All-Star this year. He should be a bona fide, already been selected in All-Star this year. But I digress. He's really, really, really good, and he'll continue to be good. Oh, okay. 5 years from now, this player would be 29 years old, and it is Jalen Brown from the Boston Celtics. Wow. Interesting. He's averaging 25 points per game, 4 assists, and 21 PER rating, which is really good actually for how crazy that team is on depth, and then also with Jason Tatum, he's been used pretty often. So Jalen Brown, wow. I mean, I can say yes, obviously. Jalen Brown is a really good player. He's a great two-way player, in my opinion. He is the cookie-cutter, perfect shooting guard I would want for my team, maybe besides Klay Thompson. It would be Jalen Brown. He can score, he can defend, he can almost do it all. I really like his attitude, the way he plays the game. He's really good. Now, this could definitely go in two different ways. Jason Tatum gets even better, and the usage of Jalen Brown goes down. Or Jalen Brown goes to a different team and sort of turns into some sort of player who can turn into, the best player on a team, which definitely could happen. He would already be the best player on a lot of teams in the NBA right now if he joined them. So, I mean, that team is already, the past couple of years I've been in, in title contention and things like that. So, the team success is going to be there. Everything's going to be there. It just always comes down to Jalen Brown. And I believe in Jalen Brown that he can do it. So, this next player will be 24 years of age in 5 years. And he's not even in the NBA yet, ladies and gentlemen. We have Cade Cunningham from Oklahoma State. Yes, the potential number 1 overall pick in next year's draft. They're saying he will be an all-star in the next 5 years. Wow. That is crazy, man. In college right now, he's averaging 20 points per game, 6 rebounds, and 3.5 assists. I've seen like 2 games of Cade Cunningham. I don't really watch a lot of college basketball until like the March Madness starts. Well, it's starting soon. And he's good. He is a good player. He definitely is like, I don't want to be rude, but like he is like, you can tell when you watch him play, he's head and shoulders above the other players he's playing with and against. Like, he is NBA ready right now, so I can see that. He's going to be good in the NBA. I know in 2K he's always super good. I don't really have a lot to say in this. Besides, again, it really just depends on other guards in the NBA, because I think he would be a guard. Right now, I think the Timberwolves have the worst record in the NBA. But then again, the top 3 picks all have the same percentage to go through with it. So it'd be like, I think right now it'd be the Wolves and the Pistons, and then I think the Rockets would be picked next for the sort of chances of getting the number 1 overall pick. And I mean, if you went to the East, I think it will be a lot tougher, because the East has a lot of good young guards, and I think the NBA of the West has a lot of good older guards. Again, Curry, Dame, Klay Thompson, yada yada yada. The East has, LaMelo Ball, and Kyrie Irving is still relatively young, and a lot of other younger guards, Ben Simmons. So it would be hard for him to do it in the East. But if he went to, again, like an OKC Thunder team or a Houston Rockets team, like, that'd be crazy, and that'd be a better situation for him to make an all-star team when the Chris Pauls and Damian Lillards and Steph Currys are done in the next 5 years, which I'm assuming are, because Dame's going to be like 36 then, Steph's going to be like 38 then, so I'm assuming those guys are going to be out. Cade Cunningham can come in and sort of replace. At age 32, this guy will technically be an old head of the NBA All-Star game. It's Anthony Davis. 5 years from now. That's pretty cool. This year he's averaging 22.5 points per game, 3 assists, and nearly 2 blocks a game. Again, a down a year for Anthony Davis, but I'm sure in 5 years he will continue on his dominance in the NBA. That's a no-brainer. Anthony Davis, again, can go down as the best power forward of all time. People already argue him being the most talented, well-rounded power forward of all time, but he racks up a couple more championships, gets a lot of accolades. He could go down as the best. Be really good. He can go down as the greatest power forward of all time. Maybe. I think I'd still probably put Tim Duncan over him, because Tim Duncan is an amazing player, but Anthony Davis is too. And at age 27, 5 years from now, Luka Doncic. already are arguing that Luka shouldn't even be a starter in today's All-Star game because of where the Mavericks are in the standings. I think in 5 years from now, I'm hoping, crossing my fingers, that the Mavericks will figure it out. If it's with Kristaps Porzingis, if it's without Kristaps Porzingis, who knows if Luka's even on the Mavericks. In 5 years from now, he could be, down in New York City, baby, on the Knicks, or in LA with Anthony Davis. Like, who knows what could happen to Luka? So, I think no matter where he is, he's gonna be a great player. So that's literally such an easy pick for Luka. Definitely gonna be an All-Star in 5 years. Oh wow, they have 31-year-old Joelle Embiid on the list as well. Wow, 31 years old. I don't know. He's averaging this year 38 points per game, 11 rebounds, and 41% from 3, which is actually pretty interesting. Wow. I only really made that face because, again, Joel Embiid, like, knocking on wood for this guy, has had some trouble staying healthy, and a big man with a big body, playing very physical at 31, like, we obviously hope that he can, perform at an all-star rate at that point in time, but I like that idea. But who knows, again, in 5 years from now, like, Joel Embiid's position and how he plays could be ancient, because we all see how, like, Andre Drummond plays, and he's not an all-star, but the dude can average, like, 16 rebounds and, like 20 points, but just because the way he plays, and he kind of is on a bad team, but the way he plays is so ancient, it's not really well seen. And hopefully that doesn't happen to, like, the players like Jokic and Joel Embiid and players like that who are big-time players playing the big man position. So, I think Joel Embiid could do it. It's going to be close, but I think he could do it. We next have De'Aaron Fox. That's an easy one. I think, of course, De'Aaron Fox can. He's averaging 23 points per game, 8 assists, and nearly 2 threes a game. That's the thing where you really need to look at De'Aaron is his shooting ability. If he gets that up more, he is for sure going to be an all-star. Like, De'Aaron just needs a jump shot, and he would be almost a perfect style of point guard who can play both, offense, defense. He's definitely a better ball controller, floor general type guy now, almost averaging 8 assists a game, which is really good, as long as he keeps that up. And again, like all the other players, where the Kings are in 5 years, which it's okay. I like De'Aaron, I like Tyrese Halliburton, I like that duo guard combo they have going on there. Marvin Bagley's in a lot of trade talks though, so I don't think he's going to be there in the next 5 years, so I think they'll be fine. I think they'll probably, if anything, bare minimum, they will be where they are right now, which is a team battling for a playoff spot, so that's not the worst case scenario. But De'Aaron, for sure safe to be an all-star, only age 28 in 5 years. Ooh. At age 27, though, we see Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, SGA, baby. Wow. Really being an all-star in 5 years. Again, that really just comes down to where the Thunder are, and are the Thunder in a 5-year rebuild to make the playoffs again? I have no idea. That's tough. I love Shai. Luke Dort, very underrated player. Even Paisley, whatever his name is actually a pretty good forward in today's NBA as well. 5 years from now would be even better. So, man, and all the draft picks they have, I think for sure. I think even Shai could be an all-star this year, arguably. But Brandon Ingram, again, that's for sure a player that. But Brandon Ingram could be, a top 10 player in the NBA in 5 years from now. He's definitely a great player in itself. He's averaging 24 points per game on almost 5 assists. That's a cold-blooded killer on offense for sure, and on defense also very underrated, very lengthy defender. Man, at age 28, Brandon Ingram, dude, that's crazy, especially on the Pelicans. Which, if you guys play NBA 2K, the simulation, 2K size. They don't really last that long at their peak, but we'll have to see. So far, he's doing really good. Whoa. Okay. They have a 34-year-old on this list. And that's Kawhi Leonard. Dang, he might be the oldest player on the list. A 34-year-old Kawhi Leonard. Wow. Dang, that would be crazy to think that Kawhi being like the oldest player in an All-Star game. That'd be really sad. I would feel super old, man. I don't really want to think about the next 5 years of my own future, but for NBA guys, that's crazy. I think this is safe. I think Kawhi plays a very good game where he doesn't rely too heavily on strength and athleticism. He's definitely obviously defending. We all know how great Kawhi is, but I think better since like his second year. I think after his second year, he's really just been like the sort of same good all around, really good, really good defensive point forward. You could play him at the 1, you could play him at the 4. Hopefully at some point in time he gets better offensively. I think at some point in time he was averaging like 12 points per game, then 15 points per game, and now he's averaging 16 points per game, which is good. Again, you just gotta hope for growth for Ben Simmons. They have Jason Tatum on the list as well, being only 28 years old in 5 years in the year 2026, averaging 25 points per game, 7 rebounds, and 4.5 assists this year. I think those numbers are gonna look the same probably his entire career because offensively, man, this dude is gifted. Defensively, really sound and good. I think it just really comes down to consistency for Jason Tatum, and I think that's for a lot of NBA stars, dude. It's hard to be good consistently. Like, I'm so surprised of players like Steph, Dame, LeBron, Kevin Durant, like James Harden. Those guys are consistently putting up big numbers, and that's tough to do. And to carry teams, like literally scoop up the players and carry them to wins, must be so tough. And I think Jason Tatum just needs to learn how to do that, whether it's from, a veteran signing, if somehow like Carmelo goes to the Boston Celtics, or, Chris Paul or someone like that who can just help, mold the mind of Jason Tatum a little bit more. I think that'd be really cool. So I think that's nice. And obviously with, deeper playoff runs, hopefully championship aspirations, he will start to develop that on his own. But that's a really cool thing to see from Jason Tatum in the next 5 years, because again, he does have the potential, just like Brandon Ingram and a lot of players we were just talking about, to be, the next one's up for, the best player in the NBA. Obviously, with Giannis still being around, that might be a close case, but we'll have to see. Okay, we have a 30-year-old Karl Anthony Towns. That's kind of cool. I could see that. Wow, so Cat's already 25. Wow. I feel like he's been in the league for a long time, too. That's interesting. So it'd be Cat and like Ayton in the West. That kind of makes sense. I'm surprised. I actually have no idea how old Rudy Gobert is, and then they have Jokic as well in the West. I have no idea how old Gobert is. I would have to look that up. Again, this will just come down to like where the Minnesota Timberwolves are in 5 years from now, which could be good, could be even worse, could be where they are already at the bottom of the West. Like the Wolves, man, their future is so unclear. But with Anthony now and Karl still being on the team, I think it's a little bit brighter than what it used to be, I guess. At age 25, yes, only age 25, Zion Williamson, of course. Again, a player who has the potential to be, the next one up in this sort of generation of NBA basketball. Because this year, second year of the NBA, he's averaging 25.6 points per game, 7.2 rebounds, and nearly 4 assists a game as well. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, Zion has the potential to be, the best player in the NBA at one point in time. I wish Stan Van Gundy would give him a little bit more opportunity on offense. Sure, he's averaging crazy numbers, just being, sort of a low post, offensive rebounder, putback guy, which is cool. He's doing very good at that, but I would like to see him, be able to handle the ball a bit more, shoot threes a little bit more, because obviously we saw him on his first game in the NBA, he shot like 4 or 5 threes in a row. Like, he has the potential to do that, and I hope they give him more chances on being a sort of maybe even a corner 3 shooter. That'd be amazing if he can add that to his repertoire. That'd be another thing I would like to see from Zion. And then last but not least, they have Trey Young. Yes, Ice Trey Young, the last player they list on here. At age 27, 5 years from now, this year, he's averaging 26 points per game, 9 rebounds, and 2.5 threes. That's interesting. I think, yes, I think Trey could have been, again, arguably an all-star this year, but roughing it out. And in the East this year, they're, had some really high highs, some pretty low lows, and then eventually a coach firing, so that's definitely not a good look. But I think the Hawks in 5 years will be an Eastern Conference playoff team for sure, maybe even a top-tier one, who knows. It just kind of comes down to the development of Trey, Deandre, Cam Reddish for sure. Cam Reddish is definitely the X factor for that team if he can develop into, just said, Cam Reddish has potential. John Collins for sure. Something that's kind of interesting is they didn't really list any of the older, middle-aged NBA players right now who are all-stars. Like, Damian Lillard 5 years from now will only be 35. That's not that very old, and I feel like Damian's game could definitely develop into that age. Let's see what other all-stars we have here. I mean, 5 years from now, dude, like Kevin Durant could still be around, still could be an all-star. And then obviously, dude, who knows about LeBron? We all know LeBron really wants to play with his son, Bronny, which I think is gonna happen. I think that will happen. Maybe not on the same team, but I think at some point in time, LeBron will face Bronny Jr. in the NBA, which is so crazy to think about, which will be in some time. So maybe LeBron will still be around. I mean, Kyrie could still be an all-star. Let's see, Zach LaVine could still be an all-star. Julius Randle. Those are some big time player names. Let's see, Team LeBron. We already talked about Giannis, Luka for sure. Jokic was on the list. Jalen Brown. Domantas Sabonis. Ooh, man, they didn't even talk about Sabonis. He could definitely still be an all-star, man. Man, and then again, players who just missed the cut, like De'Aaron, who made the list, obviously, but I'm trying to think of players who didn't. I'm actually kind of upset that they didn't put Zach LaVine on the list. I think Zach LaVine could definitely still be an all-star in the next 5 years from now. But I digress. I guess they were saying more of like for sure picks, and those guys are very iffy. Like, yeah, I guess Dame, but who knows what could happen in 5 years at a 35-year age. That was actually a really good list, but also let me know down in the comments other players who were off the list that should be on the list. But I think they did pretty good. I wasn't really sure about the rookies, Evan Mobley and Cade Cunningham. I don't really like those picks, but who knows what could happen. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hopefully you're having a good day, a good night, or whenever you're watching this video. Make sure to like the video if you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you again in my next video.